morning, I'm Liz Streppa, and this is NBC5 In Depth. At the end of the month, Northern New York Assemblyman Billy Jones will be stepping away from politics to take on a new role that he says will allow him to spend more time with his family. But before he steps away from this role as a state lawmaker, he's sitting down with NBC5 to reflect on his nearly decade-long career in public service. In less than 2 weeks, North Country Assemblyman Billy Jones will be calling it a political career after more than a decade in public service.
Yeah, it's a busy summer and life changes and switching careers, and it'll be, I think, as sad as I am to leave this job, because I've made some amazing friends and connections and worked with great organizations and local governments and just people in general.
Jones began his political career in 2009, serving as the mayor of Chateaugay before being elected to the Franklin County Legislature in 2010. In 2016, the Democrat was elected to serve the 115th Assembly District in a role that he's held until now, making a lot of memories and a lot of connections along the way.
What I'm most proud of is the connections that my staff and I have made to people, with people, helping them with their issues. Constituent services, we do a lot of constituent services, and some of the most gratifying things for me are when somebody comes up to you in the supermarket or the convenience store on the street, and they shake your hand and say, you know what, you helped me out with such and such, or your team did. And to me, that's satisfying, and just happy to be accessible and to have people know that they can reach out to us and help them with any of their issues.
As Jones reflects on his time serving as Assemblyman, he's proud of how accessible he and his team have been to their constituents. He says making sure that people could get a hold of him was one of his top priorities as a lawmaker.
I think I made it a mission when I first got into this position, was to get out and actually listen to people, hear what they have to say, talk about the issues that are affecting them day to day. I always say, you know, politicians love to go to the big ribbon cutting. They love to be on Channel 5. They love to, be at the big events. But what I feel, being in this position or being a public servant, you have to get out and talk to people. Deal with the behind the scenes issues, so to speak, because there are a lot of issues that people are dealing with day to day in their lives. And I always told my staff from day one, I said, people are going to call our office, or people are going to email us or see us out, and that's the biggest issue in their lives at that time. May seem like an issue that's not important to other people, but to them it's the most important thing to them in their lives at that time. And if we can do anything to help them or ease that situation for them, that's what we have done, and I think we've been pretty successful at it.
Ever since Jones announced his plans to step down earlier this month, several candidates on both sides of the aisle have announced their interest in the position. Jones has some advice for whoever voters elect.
I would say, just listen to people. You don't always have to be in attack mode, and what has worked for me is doing that. And like I say, we all have our ideological differences, but there needs to be a time where we can come together and work together. We're not always going to disagree. Heck, I don't disagree with my family half the time. But we need to be able to work and form partnerships that benefit the people that we serve. And I know that sounds cliche, and I know politicians will say that a lot, but that's what I've lived by. And hey, you may call me a name one day, but I'm willing to work with you the next day. And I think we need a little more of that here, because this is the North Country. We all want to see this place do great things, and you have to have a voice in Albany as well. And you have to learn how to work with people, because we are the North Country. We are a bit more sparsely populated than the rest of the state, but you have to learn how to work with people, form those partnerships, bring home something that is meaningful to people, and that's what I've tried to do.
As much as he's loved his job, he says the motivation to step away from politics was to spend more quality time with his 12-year-old daughter, Ella. She recently joined her dad at a news conference where he announced his change in career plans.
Anybody that knows me or has followed my career ever since she was born, I was involved in local politics. I was a county legislator as well and a mayor. Always been involved in my whole adult life and public service and politics and government, but there comes a point where with all the travel and being in Albany for several months out of the year, that you just want to you want to spend more time with your family or with my daughter, with Ella, and there was nobody more happy. I thought she was going to be sad, but she was pretty happy. Because I think she realized that it was time. It was time for us to, spend a little more time together. And even when we were out, and she was my partner. She was there for me all the time, and she was with me a lot of times at events and such. But it was always kind of work related, right? You're getting up. I think she mentioned in the press conference, well, at least hopefully I won't have to get up early on the weekends and go, and we were always so to speak on. You have to be on, and it was great to be with her, and we experienced so many wonderful things. But I think at the same time, just having time to enjoy being together, doing stuff, and enjoy letting her enjoy her childhood, I guess. So, we loved every minute of it. We enjoyed it, and I know years from now she's going to remember certain things that we did or events that we were at, and she's going to get a smile on her face and talk about it. It's been a wonderful experience. Can't thank the constituents here of the North Country and the 115th District for electing me 5 times to this position, 9 times overall. But it was time to spend a little more time with my family and my daughter.
Jones's new job at Clinton Community College, where he'll serve as the Vice President of Strategic Initiatives and Workforce Development at the school's Institute of Advanced Manufacturing, combines the best of both worlds. Jones will still be interacting with the community, engaging with the region's many manufacturing businesses, while also getting to spend more time with his family.
And I'm very excited about it. We have so much potential and so much opportunity with workforce development here. There's been a lot of people that have worked hard on it through the years, but we do have the Institute for Advanced Manufacturing there, and we just want people to see the potential there, and we want to get out and talk to the businesses, talk to unions, talk to all these places where we can provide a pathway for someone to make a career out of a lot of different fields, and the trades being one of them, but there's also many other fields that we feel that we can get out into the community and see the needs of what the businesses and the industries and what workers want and need, and we can really build something there, and I'm excited about it. My job in that is to get out, see what the needs are in the community, to see how we can provide career pathways for people, and also satisfy industry at the same time, satisfy what they need in those particular fields.
And as Jones prepares to take on this new role, he hopes the community is proud of his service that he's provided for all these years.
As far as legacies, I'm not going to go there, but I want people to remember that I put in the time, put in the hours. I always listen to them, and even at times where they may have disagreed with me or we couldn't quite follow through with everything that they needed, they remember that that I and my team tried to help them out any way we could.
Jones's last day in office is in early September.